Hello, I'm Diane Trees. The Orlando Science Center is helping to lead the charge to energize STEM education in our community. Engagement and entertainment are two huge factors when working with children. The center's exhibits are designed with this in mind. Joanne Newman, CEO of the Orlando Science Center, joins us now to talk about their latest programs. Joanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Diane.
Can you give us a definition for STEM and then a practical application for students?
Sure. It's almost unfortunate that STEM is an acronym that's made up of words that are already defined, because when you put them together, it really does mean something that's a little different. And truly, I think the short answer is it's a multidisciplinary approach. So not just math for the sake and beauty of math, but how do math and science and technology all come together to help us solve real-world problems? That's really what STEM is all about. And so from a practical application standpoint, in some ways I think that's what makes STEM so relevant for us today, both from a learner's perspective, because if I understand how to apply and use what I'm learning, I'm much more engaged and want to figure it out because I'm sort of looking for the end goal or the payoff.
How do we compare the Central Florida area? How do we compare nationally with the STEM degrees awarded in the area?
Well, what I know is the state of Florida is below average in terms of number of STEM degrees awarded, and that's both the bachelor's, master's, and PhD levels.
Wow. I would think with being an industrial engineer and then taking a shift for a position as a CEO of an educational facility, that in itself is quite a transition for you to make. I hope your STEM background prepared you for some of that.
Yeah, I think it did. I think a lot of the skills are transferable. I worked in the corporate world in manufacturing for many years, and I do believe a lot of the skills are transferable though.
Why do you think STEM subjects are so intimidating for our young people?
That's a good question. I believe that a lot of our youth and kids will take cues from the adults around them. So I've talked to a lot of parents and teachers who, especially the elementary grade teachers, who are somewhat uncomfortable with the math and science subjects. So they teach higher level grades if they're more comfortable, but if they're not, sometimes they gravitate toward either preschool or elementary grades. And so many parents are just uncomfortable. They'll tell you, I didn't do well in math, I didn't like those subjects. And so I think that's part of it. The other thing, from my perspective, is I don't think you can just teach these subjects out of a book. For us, and that's the whole purpose of the Science Center, is to take some of these, and they're tough subjects too, they're not that easy, but to take some of these hard to understand concepts and bring them to life in a very fun, engaging, and interactive way so kids can get their hands on things and they can try and build and create, and if it fails, we celebrate the failure and what did you learn about that? And then we go through the process again.
That sounds like fun. I would like that. What kind of exhibits then are you gearing towards STEM at the Science Center?
We have a lot of exhibits that follow a model of the engineering design cycle, if you will. So we give the audience, our visitors, a problem to solve, and they have to design and build a solution, and then they get to test out their solution. And then, to my earlier point, they see a lot of times the first time they try it, it doesn't quite work, and they figure out what didn't work, and they learn something, and they go back and they redesign and rebuild. And once it works, they're cheering and they're excited. And so we have a couple of great examples of those kinds of exhibits that the public is truly engaging with.
Are you seeing different age groups then come through?
The newest area that we just opened up is geared toward our youngest learners, ages 7 and below.
Okay.
So that was all designed and built with those age groups in mind and what kind of skills we were trying to reinforce at each of those age groups. And that's really allowing us to, what we call, age up the rest of the exhibits in the Science Center. So we've devoted a nice amount of square footage, like 11,000 square foot, to the young ones. And now we're able to bring in exhibits that we strive for them to appeal to all ages, which is really about age, 9, 10, and up through adulthood.
You also, according to your website, you are promoting parents to really encourage STEM at home and not just as a school curriculum. How are you doing this?
Well, for one thing, I think it's important we do that so people know that STEM doesn't stop once you leave the doors of the Science Center or you leave your classroom. We try to give parents tips and help, and we give them examples of things to try at home with their kids, because STEM is all around us. I mean, it's about the real world. And so the more parents can interact with children, I think, one, it's great for the whole family engagement piece of it, and it also helps our youth understand that, hey, this is a real world kind of a situation. It's not just when I'm in school or when I'm at the Science Center.
I think it would be appealing as a parent to be involved like that as well. There must be 1,000 things at the Science Center that I would want to do. I'll have to make sure that I come over there.
You need to come visit us.
What about the collaborations and the partnerships that you're building with the community that are geared towards STEM?
Yeah. Well, an organization like the Science Center cannot exist without strong partners and partnerships in the community. You know, the way our business model works, we earn about 65% of our revenue. So that means the remaining 35% is contributed revenue, and that comes from all different places and sources and partners. It also makes us a real community venue. So it's just, I can't tell you how important it is. We're seeing a lot of corporations who are very interested. They're understanding that, they're seeing that it's hard to fill some of the jobs they have if they're in a STEM industry. And they're recognizing that a place like the Science Center is great for inspiring and starting to get our kids interested in talking about these careers and subjects very early in their lives.
You say very early. You have a preschool program at the Science Center. How early is appropriate to introduce STEM curriculum?
I don't think you can do it early enough. I mean, in our case, with our preschool, it truly is a STEM-based school, and it was the first one in our region. And we start with 3- and 4-year-olds. It's amazing what these children are doing. I walked into the classroom the other day. We've started to introduce computer science and computing, and they were talking about what an algorithm is. These are 3- and 4-year-olds, and they understood it.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
Sounds like I could learn a lot.
I can too.
Yeah.
Be nice to those kids. They're going to be ruling the world here soon.
Yes. Well, that's true. That's exactly true. And you have what's called the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, which I believe is in the 3rd year up and running.
It is.
Now that's geared more towards your middle and high school. What is that about, and what's the connection with STEM and entrepreneurship?
It's a program geared toward middle and high school students. They come in with an idea, and we take them all the way through the process of creating a final product or a business, even to the point where we have a Shark Tank at the end, where we have investors and CEOs come in and rate the projects and then award funds so that the students can use them toward that. It's an amazing program. They get to see, they get to meet with bankers and lawyers and other CEOs and other entrepreneurs, and it's quite an extensive 8 or 9 month kind of
Wow.
an after-school program.
Yeah. So they come in with an entrepreneur idea themselves, and then it's vetted through all of the different aspects.
Exactly. Most of them come in with their own idea. Sometimes that idea will shift and change as they go along. A few of them are interested in this kind of thing, but they don't really have an idea, and so we help them find something that they're passionate about.
So in essence, then, you have the preschool and then all the way up through elements for middle and high school students to engage in the STEM. What's the connection with STEM and entrepreneurship? How would you say that those two match?
Well, when we talk about STEM, we talk a lot about the underlying skills that are part of STEM, and that is the critical thinking, problem solving, creativity and innovation, and collaborative work. And those are the same skills you need if you're going to be an entrepreneur or start your own business.
Again, it's using all the multiple disciplines and the talents.
Exactly.
What's next then for STEM at the Science Center? What would you like to do?
Well, we have big plans. And
That's good to know.
yes, we are in a campaign to really renovate and revitalize the Science Center from top to bottom. And we just completed the first phase of that with the Kidstown space, which is the area geared toward ages 7 and younger. And the next 2 phases are underway. The next one that will roll out is called the STEM Discovery Center. And it's going to encompass a flight simulation laboratory, It's going to allow us to upgrade our 8 classrooms into more flexible STEM learning spaces. And then we'll create an exhibit space that's all about building and tinkering and students and families and adults and children all creating and making their own projects.
So you will again be matching the age span. You've got the new section already. When do you anticipate this might be unrolled?
The flight simulation lab will be online by the end of the year for sure, and then probably the remaining by middle to end of next year.
I can't wait. Joanne, thank you so much for being here.